What's up, friends of the good mood? This is Manni and welcome back to War Robots. Are you ready for Yamantau again, ladies and gentlemen? I happened to find some old video recording on my hard drive, and I decided to make a video on it because it's, first off, it's a whole different game I can show you here from back in the days, and secondly, it's the map Yamantau. We're going to get it back very soon, and I think Pixonic is doing a lot of things in order to make that more comfortable for all of us, because the map Yamantau did have a couple of weaknesses back in the days, and I get the feeling that Pixonic is working on covering some of those right now. For example, the new robot Imugi that I've tested and shown you guys yesterday from the test server. Check out yesterday's video if you haven't yet. It's a robot that is a flying spider that can land and set up teleports between 2 points for yourself and your team, right? So that would kind of help fix a problem that Yamantau always had, that I also didn't really like about the map back in the days. Especially on Beacon Rush, when your team has a center beacon, it's incredibly difficult for the enemy beacon, for the enemy team to get that beacon, because you can respawn in the middle of the map, and the others have to walk super far to get to this point, and usually get shot down in the process, and they don't really have a good chance of capturing this beacon, ever, pretty much. So sometimes, or very often, the first team who gets the middle beacon was able to win the fight because it's just going to stay there in their possession for pretty much the whole match. And with a robot that can set up teleport points for you and your team between these points, that could potentially change something about that, right? Also, we have the new sniper weapons, so many new long-range weapons in the game that will also change a little bit how Yamantau is played. But it has always been a sniper map, and they have always been using Gecko, trebuchets, and even weapons such as tridents or Zeus were very popular here, with only 600 meters range. And you're gonna see this also here in this video, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm gonna use the Trident Fury in just a moment to obliterate the entire map, okay? So get yourselves ready for this. Also tell me in the comments, please, what you think about Yamantau. Are you hyped for it? Or are you worried? Because it was never really my favorite map. I actually hated it back in the days, but after not seeing it for so long, the prospect of seeing it again kind of appeals to me, yeah. Also very important, don't forget we have a giveaway right now going on the channel with 200 brand new Nether robots. They will probably be useful on Yamantau too, with their many dashes. And so check out in the top right corner, also video description and pinned comment. Excuse me, this is where you'll find the direct link to that giveaway. There are still a couple of days before I announce the winners, but yeah, make sure to use your chance for this giveaway, okay? So coming around the corner here, oh, this Outshone is now going to start flying. I have Last Stand, and as you see, back then, Last Stand didn't have an indicator. Remember, this was one of the things that I actually suggested to Pixonic, and they actually took this into the game to provide an indicator for Last Stand, for the enemy as well as yourself, to know when your Last Stand is going to be triggered, and that there is, in fact, a Last Stand on the enemy. And here we are in the Fury with Tridents, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, boom, boom. Big boom. And I think this was already the updated Trident version, where you can fire single shots if you wanted. Because remember, back in the original old days, Trident, you hit the button and it fires 3 shots, no matter what you want to do. It will always fire 3 shots, similar to what the new Tsar launcher does right now, right? And then they updated it and made it like Tulumba, you can fire 1 shot at a time. Here, I'm running shield a cloaking unit because we already had active modules back then. So this must have really been quite towards the end. This must have been the last couple of times you could play Yamantau before it disappeared, I think, because we might be quite late already with so many things that are here in the game. Ouch! I got hit by a Vortex Spectre pretty badly, but I'm gonna take revenge on him. He thinks he can shoot me again. Boom, boom, boom! But his rockets only made it against the wall. Nice, awesome. Boots. Oh man, these big Trident rockets. I love them. I always love them, and now that you can fire them however you want, I really like this. Ooh, look at the... ooh, wow. There is quite some damage coming in for the enemy Mender Boy, but I know he's got resistance right now running, so I was waiting for shooting him. Boom! Dude, that is crazy. Now there's a Shock Train Spectre apparently on me as well. I'm getting all the Spectres kills here. Oh, dang it. The Ares. Oh, I remember that time with the Ares dominating the game, man. That was crazy. The Ares was something you just couldn't stop it, man. And then they have multiple Ares and they had overlapping shields and they would trigger them in sequence and you would never be able to shoot them. And I'm not sure if we did have the shield break active module back then already. Because I know they put this in at some point, but it wasn't there from the beginning. Godlike. Also, Godlike was the highest achievement you can get. There was no Beyond Godlike and Living Legend. Didn't exist. Godlike was the highest, right? So also here, very interesting to see these the old things running. And I gotta say, man, there didn't seem to be any lag in the game. I was having fun, I was not experiencing any lags, people weren't teleporting around, there wasn't so much number crunching going on the server side, that would just be way too much and nonsense for the server to handle and calculate. It was pretty straightforward. The game was not so overloaded with effects and features. Also the Ao-Chun here, I think this was the time when the Ao-Chun was really at its peak, because look how long we can fly. In the actual robot, I think this is probably twice the flight time that we have now in the game, right? Because the Ao-Chun used to be flying so much longer. Also, you trigger the ability, you immediately had stealth, and then the stealth lasted until you landed on the ground, right? So you had 4 seconds longer stealth, and you had 4 seconds longer duration on the ability itself. So you basically had 8 seconds longer stealth back then. Imagine what a difference that is. By the way, did you see how I outplayed this Inquisitor? That was sick, okay? That was sick. Because we both have Orcans and Exodus, right? We both have 300 meters range on our weapons. But he's walking towards me, so I'm walking backwards, slightly out of my own weapon's range, so that everything I fire flies towards him and explodes on him because he's walking towards me, crossing these remaining few meters, whereas his weapons actually can't even make it and can't hit me. That was outplayed level 1 billion, dude. That was really sick. Those things, you don't really see people outplaying each other and using skills so much anymore. Now it's just all decided by robot abilities and weapons and having the better stuff. Just doing the right thing is barely even noticeable anymore nowadays. Here we have a Lancelot, man. These things were sick powerful back in the days, but against this setup here, he didn't stand a slightest chance. Because the flamethrower on the built-in Ao-Chun goes through his physical shields, and the Orc Exodus does too. So he had no chance of dealing absorbing any damage with his shield there. And so yeah, that was the first match. Also, let's see, how much damage do you think we did? We carried the match, right? We carried the match pretty well. We captured important beacons. We've gotten definitely the highest amount of kills, I think. How much damage do you think we did, right? My feeling would be maybe 2.5 million. Because it was back in the days, well, so things were a little different. You didn't do so much damage. 2.5 million maybe, right? Take a look at that. You're going to be surprised. You're going to be surprised. 1.9 million. And the second placed enemies, you probably can't see it behind the webcam, is 1.5 million. With 6 kills, 1.45 million damage he's got. And I'm with 1.9 million here, far away from the next place. It's crazy, and that was 12 kills. 1.9 million damage. It seems so ridiculous how little damage you used to do back then. And that was a great match. Doing almost 2 million, that was crazy. Like, that was a really good match. And nowadays you do like, what, 8 million, 9 million, you almost average this, right? When you have high-end level equipment, you can kind of average 6-7 million damage nowadays, no problem. And you can come out with damage numbers up to 18 million, I think, or whatever. It's possible to achieve this, if things go well. We're here in the little Raker Boy against the Mercury. Also, see, last stand. You had to know that there's a last stand, but you couldn't know it because there was no indicator. That's why I suggested to Pixonic, guys, we really need an indicator for that last stand, so to know there is a last stand, and excuse me, and I don't have to shoot my entire rocket salvo out now because he will be invincible. And secondly, also for yourself to know when does it trigger. Yep, this Inquisitor just died as he was trying to get into the next stealth jump. Inquisitors were also very dangerous and very powerful back then. They were very dangerous. They had a long-lasting stealth, they had a lot of firepower, the same firepower as a Lancelot had, with 2 medium and 1 heavy weapon. I'm also having a passive healing. I'm not sure what's passively healing me. Is this a pilot skill? Were pilots in the game already? Huh. That's a good question. Maybe this screen will tell. Hold on. Mark II. There's nothing telling me I have a pilot on it. But why was I healing HP back? There must have been pilots. Maybe there's no indicator here, but there must have been pilots, because if I'm passively healing health, then I think this must be the passive pilot restoration thingy, right? So, I suppressed both of these players so that they can't really deal damage to me. Then I took down the Inquisitor, while they're both being suppressed by the Raker. It's crazy how the little Raker boy was actually able to fight off against the most powerful enemies, such as Inquisitors, Mercuries, here even a Falcon. And it's just overall, it's a very interesting time. This was the time where WarRobots was so much fun. And I also remember we were already complaining back in the days about the active modules, about the overpowered Ares, about the Ao-Chun's meta rain and Spectre rain before, and all this, right? We had plenty of reasons to complain back then, but mostly what it was a robot that was just too powerful. But the crazy nonsense, such as all this drone madness, right? The pilots going way overboard and all this, that wasn't in the game then, right? It was so much simpler. The game was so much more simple. Here, I'm having an indicator for Last Stand right now on the screen, and I'm getting killed. I tried to disable both players' weapon systems, but I still took a lot of damage, and the invader was actually having anti-control. So you saw the blue glow. Anti-control was also in the game already. So it seems like while this is old video footage, it can't be this far away. Like, it can't be this old. All the time just ran away so fast that it's unbelievable. But yeah, guys, again, don't forget the giveaway. Also, if you like the content, tell me what you want to see. I have more video content from back in the days. I could show you some more if you like, and we could enjoy and relax to some of the old good old WarRobots days. And also, yeah, again, the giveaway going on, make sure to use that. And tell me what you want in the comments, okay? Please. So, coming in here, doing some heavy damage to this Nemesis. And he's used the shield. Then I get a kill that I didn't do. So maybe the Nemesis did die, but just delayed or whatever. I don't know. That was weird. Gotten those 2 kills. Also, the Ao-Chun is such a monster, man. Is so good. And look how many 2s I have in my HP. 2, 2, 2, 2, 5, 2. And the 5 kind of is like a 2, 2. It's just reversed. So it's all 2s. Boom. So he changed it now. Alright, no more 2s in my HP, only in the beginning. Alright, so we're winning this so heavily on beacon progress here. Oh man, I'm splashing right into the center of all these champs down there. Oh man, they all died at the same time. So much splash damage with the flames as well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I have anti-control, so I didn't get locked. I think back then it was also so that the lockdown weapons, such as Halo, Corona, Glory, they would randomly trigger their lockdown. You didn't have a bar filling up and then giving you a guaranteed lockdown at a certain time. What was the case back then, you had a random lockdown chance. Many of you may not even remember this or know this anymore. You had a random lockdown. It could be that at 500 meters you shoot one shotgun shot, one little pellet hits you and you're immediately locked. And because it was completely random. Or next time you shoot 10 times, 15 times, 50 times, and it just keeps going. It was completely random. And that was also something I hated back then. I complained a lot about this randomness in these weapons, in these lockdowns. Because a lockdown would essentially seal your fate. In the wrong place, a lockdown meant death for you. And just having this by a completely random chance just wasn't very well designed, in my opinion, and I hated it. I always felt like it needed to be more reliable, and I also here said, how about you just fill up a bar, and then once that bar is filled, you get the certain trigger of the lockdown. You get more control over what's happening, right? And they also did that, so it's actually really cool to see how many things that I suggested over the years made it into the game. Unfortunately, though, so many things that we complain about nowadays don't seem to make a difference, right? yeah, so again, 2 million damage. So that was even a better match, but we brawled more, so no wonder. Tell me what you think again about this time of video, and I can give you more if you want to. So stay tuned, thanks for watching, and catch up with me on the next video. Bye bye.